Okay, so in your notebooks, go ahead and turn to the next available page and turn your notebook sideways. And at the top, after you turn it sideways, if you could write table of values at the top, make 2 columns. Okay, and then on the left side of the column at the top, you could write function. And the important part, no repeats in X. And then on the other side, not function. Okay. Okay, so you have this, this piece of notes here. And on this, I want you to, similar to the last one, I want you to cut out each of these tables and remember to include the number when you cut, right? Don't leave out the number. It'll be important for identification, okay? So right there, I'm just going to circle what you're going to cut out. You're just going to cut out each of these tables, okay? And then this other part, you're just going to leave out and you're cutting. You don't, we're not going to worry about that, the domain range part, okay? So, and then, so you have some vertical tables at the top there, and at the bottom you have some horizontal tables. And I want you to do the same thing, and go ahead and cut out the tables, and make sure you include the numbers. Okay, and this is number 7. Include the numbers. Okay, so that's what you're cutting out. Okay, and what you should have. Okay, so cut those out. And again, what you should have is these tables. Okay, so notice each one of them have their numbers, okay, included in the cut. Okay, there's 1 and 5. Okay, so once you have these 8 tables, I'm going to go ahead and pull out this notebook. Okay, all right, so we'll go in order. Maybe that'll be easier. All right, so again, we're looking for no repeats in the X for a function, the easiest visual indicator, okay, to look at here. All right, so in number 1, right, the X's, let's look at these X's, the domains, okay? -4, -5, 2, 9, and 4. There were no repeats, okay? There is a different X here for each set of coordinates, okay? So this would go in function, right? No repeats in X. There were no repeats in X. That is a function. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 2, another vertical table. Okay, and if you notice in number 2, you have A and B instead of X and Y. Well, in any table, okay, the left side is your domain, whether whatever letters they assign to each column, okay? So the left side is your X, right? No matter what letters they assign to the columns here. So we're going to look at the left. The A is our X, right? All right, so let's look for repeats in the X, right? The domain, or in this case, they have the A. So just look at the left side. 0, 5, -3, 4, and 7. No repeats in the X. No repeats on the left side of that table. This is also a function. Okay, let's take a look at the next one, number 3. Another vertical table, and this time they have C and D. Okay, but again, the left side is just going to be your X. Okay, the right side is your Y, in this case the D. All right, so let's look for any repeats in the X here. -8, 8, those are different. -8, 8, -7, 9, and 4. No repeats in the X. This is also a function. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 is -7, -8, -5, 0, and 0. Okay, so this would not be a function. The X repeated right there. -4 had a value of X value of 0, and -8 also had an X value of 0, right? Each Y didn't have its own X value, okay? And that is just a -4, by the way, okay? So again, just look for repeats in the X. There is a repeat here, so that's not a function. All right, let's look at a horizontal table. Okay, so number 5 is a horizontal table, and this one is labeled X and Y. X is at the top, Y is at the bottom on this table. Okay, Let's look at the x's. -2, 1, -2, -4, and -1. There was a repeat, okay, in this x. Okay, so x repeated itself in the table. -4 had an x value of -2, and 8 also had an x value of -2. This is not a function, so we'll put it in the not function column. Okay, and then number 6, again, number 6, g and h instead of x and y, but for a horizontal table, the top is just your domain. Okay, the top is just your x. Okay, so let's look at the x values, the domain or the top, the g here. -5, -1, 3, 6, and -4. There were no repeats. Okay, the x had no repeats in it. The g, or the top, right, whatever the top is in these tables, that's going to be your domain. That's going to be your x. There were no repeats there. Okay, so 6 is a function. Let's take a look at 7. So I is our x in this case, right? That's our domain. Let's see if there are any repeats. -8, -9, 0, -8, -4. Well, -8 repeated. So this would not be a function. And then last one, number 8, k and l. K is the top row. Okay, so that's going to be our x. That's going to be our domain. -7, -9, -7, 8, 3, and 3. Well, these last two coordinates had 3 as their x values. Okay, so there was a repeat in the x, so this is not a function. Okay, functions have no repeats in their x. That's the easiest visual way to see it. Okay, so you'll glue these into these columns, and you'll have these set to look at in your notebook.